I became a multi-billionaire the moment I said it, because the word is the wand, and the wand commands. The moment I declared it, the universe shifted to honor the truth of that decree. I did not plead, I did not strive, I did not toil in fear or doubt. I simply spoke the word, and the word took flesh. The spoken word is the law of creation, and once released, it moves through invisible channels to mold my visible world. The spoken word creates reality. It is not merely a combination of sound and breath. It is the creative force that shapes your world. The moment a declaration is made with conviction, it becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Words are not passive expressions, they are active instruments of power. When you say, I am a multi-billionaire, and you say it with unwavering faith and spiritual authority, you are issuing a decree to the invisible forces that govern all manifestation. The universe does not question your command, it obeys it. It listens not to your doubt, not to your fear, but to the vibration behind your word. If the word is spoken from a place of certainty and divine alignment, it takes root and begins to unfold in perfect timing. This principle works because your subconscious mind and the creative intelligence of the universe both respond to belief encoded in speech. You are not speaking about something that might happen. You are speaking from the truth of it already being done. That is where the difference lies. The one who speaks in faith does not say, I hope to become wealthy, or maybe one day I will have abundance. The one who understands the spiritual law speaks as if the thing already exists, because in the invisible realm it already does. There is no need to wait for the physical evidence to catch up before declaring it. The spoken word is the evidence, the beginning of the manifestation process. Every word carries a vibration. A casual statement made with no belief will fade like smoke, but a word spoken with deep inner conviction becomes a living thing. It moves, it attracts, it connects with the unseen forces, and begins shaping circumstances to fulfill itself. When you say, I am a multi-billionaire, and feel the truth of it in every cell, you are not lying, you are aligning. You are aligning your consciousness with the highest truth of your divine nature, that you are meant to live in fullness, prosperity, and unlimited supply. The declaration activates this law and begins the process of demonstration in your life. Many people unknowingly speak words of lack and wonder why they continue to struggle. I can't afford this. I'll never be rich. Money doesn't come easily to me. These words are also creative commands, but they bring forth the very conditions people wish to escape. The law is impartial. It responds not to what you want, but to what you say with belief. That is why it is essential to guard the tongue, to become intentional with every declaration, and to treat your words as sacred instruments of manifestation. Once the word is spoken, it sets unseen forces into motion. You may not see the evidence immediately, but that does not mean it isn't working. Just as a seed germinates in the dark soil before it breaks through the ground, so too does your spoken word begin to form results in the unseen before it becomes visible. Speak it, believe it, and know it is already done. Faith is the invisible currency of the universe, while fear is a deceptive illusion that holds no true power. When fear dominates the mind, it clouds vision, tightens energy, and blocks the natural flow of abundance. Fear whispers of lack, doubt, and struggle, keeping the soul tied to conditions rather than possibilities. But faith speaks from the place of knowing that all things are already provided, knowing that the unseen is more real than what the eyes can see, and knowing that divine supply is always present and infinite. To become a true receiver of wealth, one must cast out fear entirely and replace it with unwavering, spiritual faith. Faith is not mere hope, nor is it blind optimism. It is a deep, resonant trust in the divine order of things, a conviction that what has been declared in the spirit will manifest in form. When you say, "I am wealthy," and your faith backs that statement, the creative forces of the universe begin working to make it so. You no longer feel the need to control the how or when. You no longer look at your bank account to decide what is true. Instead, you rest in the assurance that what is yours cannot be withheld, and that what you have claimed in faith must come to pass. Fear, on the other hand, builds walls where there should be open doors. It creates anxiety around money, confusion around decisions, and hesitation in action. It says, "What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I lose it all?" And with each fearful question, the vibration of lack strengthens. The universe, being perfectly just, simply reflects back the dominant feeling tone that is held. If the energy is fear, then more situations will appear to validate that fear. But when faith is present, it draws from the infinite well of supply and brings forth evidence to match it. To walk in faith is to walk in spiritual wealth, long before material wealth shows up. It is to move with the calmness of someone who knows that all things are always working in their favor. It is to spend, give, and act not from fear of not having enough, but from the assurance that more is always on the way. Faith turns every step into a divine appointment, and every delay into a lesson, never a loss. With faith, even obstacles are transformed into stepping stones, and even silence is filled with divine orchestration. Faith makes you magnetic to money, opportunity, support, and favor. It lifts your vibration to match the frequency of abundance and sends a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. The moment you replace fear with faith, your energy shifts, your perception changes, and your path clears. You move from begging life to bless you to declaring that it already has, and from that place you become unstoppable, not by force, but by the invisible strength that flows through faith. Abundance is not something that must be earned, chased, or begged for. It is already within you. It is not outside in a bank account, in a job offer, or in someone else's approval. True abundance is a spiritual reality, a divine inheritance that is always present, waiting to be recognized and claimed. The moment you understand that wealth is not a distant goal but an inner condition, you stop striving and start receiving. You no longer look to the outer world for signs of permission. Instead, you turn inward and connect with the infinite supply that lives at the very core of your being. When you declare that you are rich, you are not pretending. You are aligning with truth. You are not denying present circumstances. You are transcending them. The spiritual realm is cause. The material world is effect. If you focus only on the outer, you remain a prisoner to appearances. But when you tap into the inner well of abundance, you realize that you already possess the creative force that brings all wealth into being. You stop feeling like a beggar at the gates of life and begin to walk as a rightful heir of divine prosperity. The world teaches us to hustle, compete, compare, and struggle. It says that success must be earned through stress, that money only comes through sacrifice, and that some have it while others never will. But spiritual law teaches something else entirely. It says that you are not here to chase abundance. You are here to express it. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to remember it. The presence of abundance is already coded into your spiritual DNA. It is part of your divine design. When you act from the awareness that you are already abundant, the outer world begins to reflect that truth. You start making decisions from confidence rather than desperation. You no longer hold back from giving because you know there is always more. You no longer shrink or second, guess yourself, because you are rooted in the awareness of your own completeness. The idea that you must chase wealth becomes laughable because you are wealth in human form. Every dollar, every opportunity, every blessing flows from the overflow of your inner richness. As you awaken to the truth that abundance is within, You stop waiting for permission to live a prosperous life. You stop waiting for the right timing, the perfect plan, or the ideal conditions. You begin to embody abundance now, through your thoughts, your language, your actions, and your presence. You begin to carry yourself like someone who knows the universe is working in their favor, and that confidence, that inner alignment, begins to open doors, attract resources, and magnetize success effortlessly. The most powerful shift you can make is to stop seeking abundance outside and start recognizing it inside. When you know it is within you, you realize it was never about trying to get more. It was always about realizing you already have it all. Spiritual confidence is the silent force that draws prosperity without effort or struggle. It is not loud, boastful, or filled with anxiety. It is calm, assured, and deeply rooted in the understanding of divine truth. The individual who walks in spiritual confidence does not chase wealth. They attract it. They do not convince others of their worth. They embody it. This kind of confidence is not based on outer achievements or social validation, but on a sacred inner knowing that one is connected to an infinite source that never fails. When you are spiritually confident, you stop looking for signs to confirm your success. You become the sign. Your presence alone radiates the vibration of abundance. You don't need to explain yourself, compete, or compare, because your certainty in the invisible laws is enough. You are no longer tied to the world's limited systems or beliefs. You recognize that spiritual law is your foundation, and when you are aligned with it, everything you need is drawn to you with divine precision. You know that what you are seeking is also seeking you, and you trust the process fully, even when there is no visible proof yet. This confidence doesn't come from ego. It comes from alignment. It is born when the soul is anchored in the truth that all power, all supply, and all success comes from within. When you claim your desires with this kind of spiritual authority, there is no begging, no bargaining, and no fear. You do not ask timidly. You declare boldly. You do not wonder if it will come. You know it is already done. The universe moves according to your energy, and when that energy is infused with spiritual confidence, mountains move and opportunities appear without resistance. You begin to carry yourself differently. Your decisions are not driven by lack or fear, but by inspiration and inner clarity. You don't shrink from challenges because you understand they are simply opportunities for the demonstration of your faith. Your energy speaks before you do. People sense your conviction, doors open without force, and circumstances align effortlessly because your inner world has already claimed the result. That's the nature of spiritual confidence. It acts as a magnetic field that organizes your outer life to reflect your inner certainty. When you live from this place, you stop seeking permission to rise. You stop waiting for others to approve, to invite, or to open the way. You realize the way is within you. You become the source, the vessel, the channel through which wealth flows. Your confidence is not conditional upon how things look, because you have learned to see with spiritual eyes. Even in the silence, even in the stillness, you know things are working in your favor. You are not swayed by delay or challenged by doubt because your foundation is rooted in divine law, which never fails. Spiritual confidence becomes your atmosphere, and in that atmosphere, prosperity flourishes without effort. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and when it is practiced in advance of receiving, it becomes a magnet for miracles. True gratitude is not a reaction to blessings. It is a spiritual posture, a state of being that affirms trust in divine timing and unseen provision. When you give thanks before the manifestation appears, you are declaring to the universe that you already believe it is done. This type of gratitude speaks not to the outer world, but to the spiritual realm where all things are already complete, To give thanks before the harvest is to step fully into the vibration of the harvest. It is to act as though the blessing has already arrived. It is not pretending or forcing. It is aligning with the invisible truth that the thing you desire already exists in spirit the moment you say, "Thank you for my wealth." With sincerity and conviction, you are telling the universe that you have received it energetically. That declaration sends a signal, a frequency, that draws the physical form of that wealth into your reality. Gratitude is faith in motion. It is the bridge between the spiritual and the material. It says, "I do not need to see it with my eyes to know it is real." This level of trust accelerates manifestation because it eliminates resistance. When you're truly grateful in advance, you're no longer doubting, worrying, or chasing. You are resting in assurance, and that rest is a powerful attractor. The universe responds to the energy of certainty. The moment you thank the divine for something that has not yet appeared, you shift your vibration to the level of already having it, and the material world must catch up. Most people wait until they receive to be grateful, but those who understand spiritual law give thanks to receive. They thank the universe for wealth before the account balance changes. They thank for healing before the symptoms disappear. They thank for success before the opportunity arrives. This is not naivety, it is mastery. It is the recognition that your words, your energy, and your belief shape your experience, and gratitude is the language of completion. Every time you say thank you, you open a new channel for more. Gratitude multiplies what you focus on. If you are grateful for the little, the universe trusts you with the much. If you are grateful for the unseen, the universe delivers the seen. It is impossible to stay in lack when your heart is filled with gratitude, because lack cannot coexist with abundance, consciousness. Gratitude breaks the spell of not enough and replaces it with the truth of divine sufficiency. Even when nothing seems to be moving, gratitude keeps the energy alive. It becomes your proof that you are still in faith, still aligned, still connected. And that continued connection ensures that what you desire is already making its way to you. Gratitude is not a technique. It is a lifestyle, a daily recognition that the universe is always working on your behalf. When you live in that space, miracles become normal and prosperity becomes your natural state. Your inner alignment is the blueprint that shapes your outer reality. Everything that manifests in your life begins within. Your thoughts, your emotions, your words, and your beliefs are the architects of your external world. You cannot plant seeds of lack and expect a harvest of abundance. The law is exact, and it responds not to what you say you want, but to what you truly believe and feel on a deep, subconscious level. When you align your inner world with wealth, success, and divine supply, the outer world has no choice but to follow that energetic command. This alignment is not about forcing things to happen. It's about becoming a match for what you desire. When your inner state is saturated with feelings of worthiness, peace, gratitude, and confidence, you naturally attract people, opportunities, and resources that reflect that energy. You do not chase, you draw in. You do not struggle, you align. That is the secret. Alignment is effortlessness. You become a vessel through which the divine expresses itself, and in that expression, all things are added unto you. Inner alignment means being mindful of your thoughts and emotions throughout the day. It means catching yourself when doubt creeps in and replacing it with faith. It means speaking affirmations not out of desperation, but from knowing. It means walking as if your desires are already fulfilled and living from that fulfilled energy. When you do this consistently, you recalibrate your vibration and become a living magnet for the very things you once hoped for. The outer world may delay in showing evidence, but that does not matter when you are truly aligned. Spiritual timing is perfect. What seems like a delay is often divine orchestration working behind the scenes, aligning other pieces for your highest good. When your energy stays steady and your inner belief remains strong, the outer shift becomes inevitable. It must reflect the dominant energy you are holding. That's the law, like attracts like, not in words, but in vibration. So the clearer and more consistent your alignment, the faster the material world begins to take shape around it. You must also be vigilant not to let temporary appearances pull you out of alignment. Conditions are always changing, but your inner truth is eternal. If you see something that contradicts your vision, bless it and return to your center. Do not argue with reality. Reshape it by staying rooted in spiritual truth. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. Circumstances are molded by your energy. That is the power you carry. Living from inner alignment is about surrendering control while holding firm to vision. It's a sacred dance of trust and action, of knowing and allowing. You take steps not out of fear, but out of inspiration. You make choices from abundance, not lack. Your energy becomes a clear yes to the universe, and the universe responds accordingly. When you live in this state, prosperity becomes the natural outcome, because the world outside you is only ever mirroring the world within you.